Yes, it's a beautiful Tuesday morning in the city of Abuja. Yes, and less than 24 hours to Nigeria's 65th Independence Day celebration. Welcome to Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoite. As usual with the show, we will be taking a look at some of the papers lined up for review this morning, about 8 or 9 of them, and we'll go through the headlines, and later I'll be joined by a guest who will together review the contents of the papers. All right, straight up, we start with the Nation newspapers. And just like other newspapers, it has the Jonathan story here. 2027, Jonathan, no match for Tinubu. That's from the presidency. Jonathan, 2027, Jonathan, no match for Tinubu. And still staying with the front page of the Nation newspaper, Tinubu governors APC chiefs in Imo for Uzodima's book. Nigeria ready for partnership, Tinubu tells global investors. That's still on the front page of the Nation newspaper. UK diplomats fault genocide reports on Christian. And Ondo varsity lecturers threaten to disrupt resumption convocation over unpaid salaries. Don't cut supply to Dangote refinery, court orders Pengasson. And it's a fallout of the ongoing face-off between the oil workers and Dangote refinery. All right, we take one or two other stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper. PDP will retain Oyo in 2027, says Makinde. And Osun 2026, APC will emerge victorious. Oyetola, as the former governor of the state. Massive turnout for CVR shows Nigerians' confidence in electoral process, says INEC. Southwest, Northwest lead online in-person voter registration. That's according to data from INEC. All right, so that's all the stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Our next stop now is the Vanguard newspaper, and the Vanguard newspaper is leading with the oil story. Court stops Pengasson, others from cutting gas supply to Dangote refinery. And 2027 presidency, no automatic ticket for Jonathan in PDP. That's how the Vanguard posts the story. And malaria, federal government to deploy new intervention for children in southern Nigeria. And PDP will retain Oyo, reclaim presidency in 2027. Makinde is the governor of Oyo State. Blame PDP if governor Mbah defects. That's from ex-governor, ex-Enugu party chairman. Naira appreciates to 1,500 to a dollar in the parallel market. Police arrest 5 notorious bandits in Abuja, recover large cache of arms and ammunition. And Kwara community, okay? Still staying with the Vanguard newspaper. Jonathan ran Nigeria's economy aground, presidency. And Court declares Pat Utomi's shadow government illegal. Countdown to Yakubu's successor. Why president should not appoint INEC chairman. Jonathan will contest return to Aso Rock as president in 2027. That's from Professor Jerry Gana, chieftain of the PDP, former Minister of Information. Dangote Pengasson meeting ends in deadlock. Still staying with the Vanguard newspaper. Let's see. Police recover 45 phones from Kaduna robbery gang. All right, those are the headlines on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The Sun newspaper is next now, and the Sun newspaper, just like the Vanguard newspaper, is leading with the industrial story. Court stops Pengasson others from cutting gas supply to Dangote refinery. And they're still on the subject. Dangote NLC says no more negotiations. Set affiliates on red alert. Okay, Jonathan Ghana free to express his opinion, PDP. And blame PDP if bad effects ex-Enugu chairman, Enugu party chairman. Okay? Nigeria's economic prosperity depends on the north. That's according to President Bola Tinubu. And still staying with the Sun newspaper. No automatic ticket for Jonathan in PDP. And Jonathan's dismal records will work against him. That's from the presidency. Why Gombe deputy governors ditch their bosses? Federal government stakeholders declare war on fake agro-seed dealers. And Nigeria's tax ID goes global as FIRS launches digital trade platform. Nigeria at 65. Federal government plans low-key celebration. Council's parade declares tomorrow public holiday. All right, that's all we can take from the Sun newspaper. Daily Trust is next now, and just like the Tribune newspaper, Daily Trust leads with the Jonathan story. Jonathan's tenure, a disaster. That's from the presidency. And Kogi enrolls fresh 76,000 people into health insurance. UNICEF targets over 11 million Kano children for measles polio vaccination. Nigeria at 65, still far from nation of our dream, Governor Yusuf. Gombe's government to enroll 400,000 out-of-school children in 3 months. That's a good one. Okay, those are the headlines from the front page of the Daily Trust. The Punch newspaper is next, and no prize for guessing. Dangote versus Pengasson. NLC mobilizes workers for strike against refinery. And Nigeria at 65. Federal government councils Independence Day parade. Church members avoided me over Muslim ticket. Remi Tinubu, that's the First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu. Tax reforms exempt food, education, agriculture. That's from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. NNPC, Dangote Refinery signed fresh 2-year crude deal. How to make your bank account work across borders. That's on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And 2026 Hajj, NACON inaugurates operators screening committee. Nigeria's rent crisis deepens as 2-bedroom flat hits 2.5 million naira. Residents in shock as man found dead in Plateau community. All the stories coming to you from the Punch newspaper. Anambra police seek help to locate missing toddler. And Doe residents, traders lament poor state of Benin Sapele Road. Togolese driver arrested for injuring Lagos pedestrian. Why APC's grip on Lagos can be broken in 2027. That's Doherty. Funsho Doherty is a former governorship candidate in Lagos State and is chieftain of the PDP. PDP denies holding Cross River Congress. And 6.2 million Nigerians complete online voter registration. That's from the Electoral Commission, INEC. Rivers Speaker recounts surviving 5 days kidnapping in 2008. SAFA vows to fight Bafana's point deduction. SAFA is the South African Football Association. And this is, I think, in connection with the 3-point deduction by FIFA concerning some breaches of the game by the association. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper now. All right, the Tribune newspaper stays with the industrial dispute in the oil and gas sector. Strike continues as FG's meeting with Pengasson Dangote ends in deadlock. And 2027 presidency mocks PDP, says Jonathan has nothing new to offer. And federal government councils Independence Day parade. Central Bank of Nigeria, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation deny releasing withheld Osun LG funds to APC chairmen and councillors. That's from the Tribune newspaper. All right, and there's this story still on the front page of the Tribune newspaper. Police arrest Nigerian man for defrauding woman in China. And for some sports stories here, huge boost for Super Eagles as FIFA sanctions South Africa. No reason to panic. Maresca blames red cards for Chelsea's poor run. And friendlies, Super Eagles to play Venezuela, Colombia in USA. And over 10 million naira up for grabs at the CDS Unity Cup tourney. All right, we move on to this day newspaper now. right, this day newspaper is our final port of call, and the paper leads with the Jonathan story also. Presidency, Jonathan free to run in 2027. Nigerians won't forget Iran economy aground. That's from the presidency. And still staying on the front page of this day newspaper, Tinubu meets two of Nigeria's global investment leaders, Bayo Ogunlesi and Akim Bello Sage. President to inaugurate National Theatre renovated by CBN Bankers Committee tomorrow. Federal government denies releasing Osun's withheld LG funds to APC chairman. Okay, FG trains 300 tractor operators on mechanized farming to boost food production. New tax regime and industrialization, investment concerns. All this you'll find on the front page of this day newspaper. Nigerians get over 225,000 electricity meter in the second quarter of this year amid 5.4 million naira deficit. And why Nigeria must reform solid minerals sector now, that's according to NATI. And from Sydney Jack says why National Assembly should pass reserve seats for women bill. And still staying with the National Assembly, this day newspaper asks a question: Constitution review, is the National Assembly embarking on another futile exercise? And from Plateau State, Governor Mutfwang is saying, I'm passionate about improving security, transforming Plateau. And from Plateau to Kaduna State, Obasani, also the governor of that state, echoes Tinubu's renewed hope at Onga. All right, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, then we'll take a look at some of the stories in details. Please don't go away.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer
Lower everybody. So far, so far, so far. Enjoy forever.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Nwusu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Epa!
Abuja.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
Is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Super Citizen at Sunrise Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoiche and welcome to the second half of the show. This is where we look at some of these stories in details, and I'm joined by Mr. Salman Salami, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Citizen 93.7 FM. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Lawrence, good morning and welcome back.
Yes, let's start with the independent story. Although I know that the media is awash with the Nupeng and Dangote refinery dispute, but tomorrow, less than 24 hours, is our 65th Independence Day celebration as a nation. And yesterday evening, we got this information from the presidency that Nigeria at 65 federal government cancels Independence Day parade. The federal government has cancelled the parade earlier scheduled to mark Nigeria's 65th Independence Day anniversary. The announcement was contained in a statement issued by the Office of the Secretary to the government of the Federation. It added that government regrets any inconvenience caused, but stressed that other activities lined up for the anniversary will proceed as scheduled. This include the traditional broadcast cultural programs and the grand finale of the National Campus Debate. At a World Press Conference in Abuja, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, explained that Independence Day is not only a ceremonial date, but an opportunity for sober reflection and renewed patriotism. So, Mr. Salami, Nigeria at 65. First, let's look at our journey as a nation. 65 years. What's your take on that?
Honestly, a man of 65 years cannot, by any standard, be called a toddler. He's getting close to being a statesman, for whatever it is worth. And at 65, as a nation, it is not a particularly long period, but then we cannot say it is a short period. It is enough time to have come of age. And Nigeria as a country at 65 has made appreciable progress measurable ones. That is not to say it is where it ought to be or where it should be. But then, it is a journey. It is not a destination. We are still on the journey. The question is this: are we on the right track? Are we taking the right step, and are we learning the correct lessons? That is the question for all Nigerians to answer. But then 65, to say the least, is a long time. Nigeria has come of age.
All right, in 65 years, you've been around for a while. So what would you say has been strides, our greatest strength in the last 65 years as a nation?
Well, I would rather say that for us to still remain the same here, to still remain a one nation, is an achievement. And I am 65, and I can say with all sense of responsibility that it is a coterie, it's a catalog of misses, some nice opportunities gotten and used very well, and in summary, we have missed so many steps because, like I keep on saying, that if there is an opportunity for you to make 5,000, if you make 4,500, you have failed. But if you make 6, 7, 8,000, then you have succeeded. I think as a nation, there is much more that we ought to have achieved. Malaysia, Singapore, and some other countries that we started together, we know where they are today. We are lagging behind. Don't let us deceive ourselves. But, like I said, it's a journey. It's not a destination.
All right, we'll leave it at that, and tomorrow by 7 o'clock, hopefully, I think we will listen to a presidential broadcast from our dear President, President Bola Tinubu. And just like the statement from the SGF said, all other events scheduled for the anniversary will go on except for the presidential parade. So this is wishing Nigeria a fruitful celebration and many more goodies ahead as one united nation. All right, Mr. Salam is still staying with the Punch newspaper. Let's move on to the issue of the moment now. Virtually all the news media outlets are awash with the story. Different slants depending on the interest of the sponsors of the newspapers. Dangote versus Bengerson. NLC mobilizes workers for strike against refinery. This is how the Punch newspaper puts it. The Nigerian Labour Congress has directed its affiliate unions to begin urgent mobilization and prepare for a nationwide industrial action against the Dangote Group, accusing the conglomerate of sustained anti-worker practices. This came as a nationwide strike declared by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, that's Bengerson, against the refinery paralyzed operations in key oil sector. Okay. Bengerson has declared that he was not aware of a court injunction, arguing that court orders or processes were served via court bailiffs, not through social media. Okay, Mr. Salami, but before we go into, because this is a topic that we will look at in details, generally speaking, how do you see this dispute, which has blown open finally?
It is unfortunate that we are witnessing this, in the sense that when Dangote came on board, for quite some time now, we have heaved a sigh of relief, in such a manner that we thought, or we had taken it for granted, that fuel queue in our station is coming to an end, and that we are now seeing the end of suffering, so speaking. For Bengerson to insist that they must go on strike is bad enough. For NLC to now say that Dangote's attitude to the issue is anti-workers, anti-people, I do not share that view. Most Nigerians believe that anything that will bring us back to Egypt should be avoided.
Okay.
And I want to believe that workers are, so to speak, an infinitesimal percentage of Nigerians. The interests of Nigerians and not necessarily workers alone should be taken into consideration. If NSC feels that, yes, we are supporting our people, co-workers in Pengassi and the unionists, let them put it that way. To now say this very strike that they are threatening to go on with is for Nigerians. No, it is not. And then they will know that Nigerians do not support them. I doubt if we will not come to the end of the matter with this. Because it is unthinkable that any union will think that the next thing for Nigerians is to experience hardship again, as if what we are going through is not more than enough.
But Mr. Salami, let's look at it from let's look at the flip side of this development. This issue started about, I think, 4 or 5 months ago. Remember the first time that the NLC had to have a meeting with the government and everything concerning the unionization of the workers in Dangote Refinery. An agreement was reached, and I think both parties made concession. We understand that at that agreement was the fact that those workers who want to be members of NUPEN should indicate.
Lawrence.
And they did.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Unionism is a voluntary thing.
Exactly.
In whatever form.
Exactly.
That is one. And
There's just a moment. The argument of the NLC and Pengassi is that after indicating that some of the members wanted to be part of NUPEN, and it was agreed that, okay, if you want to opt in, fine. If you don't want, you cannot be coerced into it. But they said after that agreement, every one of them who opted to be members of NUPEN were now sacked. That is the bone of contention.
Well, that angle to it, I have not established it. And until I...
No, that's just the allegation from the Labour side.
That's right. Let us hear from the Dangote side. Although they have put up a notice in the newspaper this morning, I'm yet to go through. But be it as it may, I think whatever we add to the hardship that the people are experiencing now should be avoided as much as possible. That is where I stand. I am saying that, I'm not on the side of either Dangote or NLC or Pengassi. I'm on the side of Nigerians. These are the hardship that we know that is associated with fuel queues. Lawrence, of course, don't let us forget in a hurry what we went through. And, truth be told, unionism should be a free thing. If you like, you join. And if you have decided to join, Dangote should allow you to join. But, like I said, Dangote is not a Father Christmas.
Okay.
He has his reasons. And I'm very sure that whatever we protect is investment. Because it's there for profit making. He has invested his money and he wants to make profit. And he will ensure that he takes whatever necessary step to ensure that it is a financial gain and not...
All right. I concede that to you, Mr. Salami. That's been the argument of some people. But let's also not forget that the Dangote refinery is not a beer parlor. It's not a mama put where you have 4 or 5 people. Thousands of people work there. And they also need to be, their rights also need to be protected very much. And this is why we would not say that workers should embark on strike every time. We know the importance of a union to protect workers' rights. Can you imagine what would have happened in Nigeria if we've not had the NLC NUPEN over the years fighting for workers' rights? companies will wake up and do whatever they want to do. Mr. Salami, let's get it right.
Lawrence, I've been telling whoever cares to listen that we should not stretch our luck too far. You can't, what you don't have, you can't control. You have limited control over what is not your own.
But
If
when,
it was so, government, the refinery, we spent money for turnaround, the one that no turnaround. Yet we are. And somebody is managing his business very well, and the fuel is wetting the ground every day. And he feels that if he follows what you're asking him to follow, we will go the way of the government. Should we do that?
all right, I think this is a developing story. We will get more insight at the end of the day. But for me, yeah, I think reason should prevail on both parties to reach an amicable solution very soon. Because just like Mr. Salami said, that sector is too sensitive to be left unattended to. We hope that the intervention of the Nigerian government, the state, will resolve this so that at the end of the day there will be a win-win situation for all. But Mr. Salami, before we leave union matters alone, what we feared most, ASU issued 14-day ultimatum to federal government over 7-point demands. It's been a while we've had this, at least in the last 2 years. Our universities have been up and running. And although we've had near cases of shutdown, but we've not had an official shutdown in the last 2 years of this government, especially when it comes to the academic staff. But this time, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has given the federal government a 14-day ultimatum to address its 7-point demands or face industrial action. The decision was reached at the union's National Executive Council meeting held at the University of Abuja. ASU National President, Professor Chris Piwana, discloses in a strike notice personally signed and released to journalists. Are we hoping against hope that this will not? Thankfully, this is just a notice.
I read it around 1 a.m. this morning, and I said that when we are told that the strike in universities, the era is over, and we're having this. You see, it's unfortunate that when problems come, they do in torrents. And it is one of the existential problems that the government, I believe, will handle very well. We cannot afford this one. We just cannot afford this one again. And I am very confident that in the past 2 years of this administration, they have somewhat or somehow managed to avoid closure of our universities. And I think they will do the needful. They don't have a choice than to engage the ASU in a fruitful discussion in such a way that they don't close down or they don't make good their, is it a threat we call it? Notice.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's take a pause now. The phone lines are open. You can join us 0903 2229797. That's 0903 2229797. Or you can call us on 0818 222205. That's 0818 222205. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of the two numbers and let's know your take on any of the stories so far that we have reviewed. Mr. Salami, this other story was also competing for attention since yesterday. Jonathan's tenure, a disaster presidency. Don't forget that I think it was Professor Jerry Garner that first revealed that the former president is joining the presidential race. And since yesterday, the media has been abuzz with a lot of reaction. The presidency has reacted. The presidency, this is according to the Daily Trust, how the Daily Trust put the story. Jonathan's tenure, a disaster presidency. And this is his opening paragraph. The presidency has attacked former President Goodluck Jonathan over speculation that he may contest the 2027 presidential election, describing his 6 years in office as a disaster. There have been renewed calls, particularly from North, urging Jonathan to return to the presidential race as coalition efforts to unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027 gain momentum. Mr. Salami.
Lawrence, the race to 2027 is becoming more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, and any political reporter of note will now realize that there is almost certain that Jonathan will throw his heart in the race. This is almost certain now. And yes, it is right. He has the right to do it if he chooses to do it. And what our big boss said yesterday to me is reactionary. It is reactionary. It is for Nigerians to judge how they will assess his tenure. And the campaign has not started. All I thought he should have done, Uncle Bayo should have done, is to welcome him and not to ex-cathedra assess his tenure. Yes, that's his opinion, but we need to be careful because whatever he says is taking as the view of the presidency.
Obviously.
It may not necessarily mean so. But then that is what we will take it to mean. And like I said, it's like they are jittery. It's as if it is clear that Jonathan will come into the race. Even though we still have time to assess this and analyze it properly. But then Jonathan has every right to contest, just like any other Nigerian. And it's for Nigerians to decide whether his record was good enough and whether, based on his past record, he should be given another opportunity to be our landlord at the villa.
Well, I think there is no pretense about it. A political figure like former President Goodluck Jonathan cannot be said to be interested in a race and then the government in power will just go to sleep. It's just normal. Even if they give the impression that, oh, well, we welcome him, it's okay, but you know that there are some people who will throw their hearts into the ring and then it will change the political calculation. He may not win, he may win, he's not cast in stone, but then his entry is bound to ruffle a few feathers, both from the northern and southern parts of the country. It's going to change a lot of calculation, if eventually, or is Professor Jerry Garner flying a kite or testing the waters? Is PDP testing the waters? Or are the gloves off completely? Because election campaign may not have been officially flagged off. But Mr. Salami, you and I know that campaign started on 29th May 2023.
Lawrence, the race is on. And this is my take. Jonathan will contest. It has passed the stage of consultation. Remember that he was with David Mark. Jerry Garner, Professor Jerry Garner, by all standards, is not a reckless person when he talks, even though he was in MAMSA. And we are old enough to recall or recollect what happened then. But be it as it may, it's almost certain that Jonathan will contest.
Mr. Salami, you're speaking as a member of his political team.
No, I'm talking as a political reporter of note. Because we have covered politics for over 39 years. And we know how politicians are. Even if your brother will contest, he will still be telling the wife that he's still consulting.
All right, let's see how it pans out. All I know that it's going to, for me, the more the merrier. It's going to make the race very interesting.
Very, very.
And let's see because anytime soon, INEC is going to release the timetable for political processes ahead of 2027 because we know that by the end of this year, a lot of things will be put on hold. Politics will officially take over
Sure.
from the 1st of January
Fully.
next year, fully. The whole of 2026 will be politicking. So, and in politics, gloves are taken off. Foes are not spared. And a lot of things. The media will be awash with a lot of stories. So let's see how it is. For now, the former president is keeping everyone guessing to be or not to be, according to William Shakespeare. That is the question. All right, let's move on to the Nation newspaper for some business stories here. I saw a story that caught my fancy here. Nigeria ready for partnerships. President Tinubu tells global investors, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has restated Nigeria's readiness to partner with credible global investors, particularly Nigerians in diaspora and, in quotes, sons of the soil, as we call them in Nigeria. He describes such partnerships as part of efforts to secure energy independence and deliver modern infrastructure to power prosperity across Africa. The president made the declaration in Lagos yesterday after separate meetings with two of the country's foremost global investment figures, Akim Bello Sagi of Metis Capital and Bayo Ogunlesi of Global Infrastructure Partnership and BlackRock. And this was in a tweet that we saw. The president made the declaration. Okay, yes, we've said that. So, Mr. Salami, the president is actually very active on the international scene, especially when it comes to investment in Nigeria and reaching out to Nigerians who have made their marks on the international scene. Seems to be a good sign.
Well, it is undeniable that Mr. President has been trying to woo investors. He has done it in practical terms. Although, like I keep on saying, that what the ordinary Nigerian wants to see is cheap food, or food, so to speak, affordable food on his table. He wants health, good health to be provided, and other social amenities or infrastructure. But truth be told again, I've discovered that what we thought initially to be a bad thing is turning to be a very good one.
Which is?
These diaspora remittances and what is coming from the diaspora. In actual fact, given the benefit of hindsight, I've now discovered that no nation can be an island. There is need for a systemic approach to it in such a way that it is even good that we allow our worlds to go out and see what is happening in the outer world and now bring the experience back so that we can all benefit from it. But I must confess that north and south, home remains the best.
Yes.
And that exactly should be the way that our people in the diaspora should be thinking. Let them be good ambassadors of Nigeria. Let them get the best that they can from where they live. And let them have it at the back of their mind that no matter how sweet the journey is, coming back home is very important. Let's thank them for what they are doing, because the remittances in dollars is part of the reason for the stability we are now experiencing in the Naira. And I think there is need to do more. But more than that, let it translate into practical things in such a way that the vegetable seller will know that yes, something is happening.
Absolutely, yes, I agree with you on that. And we also think that it's not just enough for the president to seek investment in Nigeria alone. That in itself, it's okay. But also make the country conducive in terms of stable policies, because some of the things, sometimes the bane of in foreign investment, people fear policy somersault, policy instability. But to the credit of this government, in the last 2 years, they seem to have stabilized a lot of policies and make it conducive for people who will come in. Power, yes, I'm sure that maybe that was the choice of one of the investors here who has made his mark in the power sector. Yes, one of the most critical areas that the Nigerian government needs to, because if you have steady power supply, 18, 20 hours a day that is steady across the country, Mr. Salami, you cannot imagine the multiplier effect across the country. You can't imagine that. Second to infrastructure. So these are things that we hope that it will pan out. Sometimes some of these things may take years to manifest, but then it's always better to start.
Yeah, it is. And I think the good thing is that this administration seems to have a clear idea of where they are taking this country to. But along the line, they should lessen the hardship. There is no doubt there is hardship in the land.
All right, the Guardian newspaper is next. Our time is fast spent, Mr. Salami. Tinubu Obasanjo Kuka for ex-CDS Irabo's book launch in Abuja. And we understand that former Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, will on Friday launch his new book on the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu, ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo, and Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Reverend Father Matthew Hassan Kuka, are to grace the unveiling of the book titled Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum. Mr. Salami, I picked this story because anything that has to do with the efforts of our military, it's always appreciated. These are men who laid the groundwork of what we are enjoying today. So it won't be surprised if these VIPs turn up there. And I can't wait to lay my hand on that book to read, because these men have a lot to tell Nigerians, and Nigerians need to learn a lot from this. I will wish our public officers, at whatever level, once you leave government, you put your members to writing. Let your experience, let people learn from it. People coming from you need to learn from it. The sacrifices you cannot imagine. When somebody rises to that position of the Chief of Defense Staff, you cannot imagine what it means.
He has a lot. General Lucky Irabo, no doubt, has a lot to give Nigerians. The insights. He has insights to offer. And when people like that talk, we need to listen, because there are credible lessons to be learned and the pathways to follow. But then, this is a big one. I hope it will not spill too much, because we are still in the woods.
No, he's a general. He knows what to spill and he knows what to leave out. He knows what to spill. I'm not sure. In fact, he's the one that will lecture us on a classification of information.
I agree with you. I agree with you, because he's a veteran of many wars.
Wars, yes, he knows. It's a good one, and we hope these are the kind of materials that we wish a lot of young ones would have access to. People, politicians who go to book launch to make political statements, these are things they should do. Buy thousands of it and donate to schools, donate to young ones to read and know what happened, because a lot of our young people have no idea. For some of them, Nigeria started in 1999. That's how all they care. They don't know that there was Nigeria beyond 1999. So they need to read a lot of books from some of our heroes in the past.
Lawrence, you know I appreciate your optimism, and I stopped sharing it quite some weeks ago. You are so optimistic about things that at times when you talk, you are lavish. You say our youths, our young ones, are they interested?
Well, we can never tell.
Are they really interested in learning in the real sense of the word? Honestly, in fact, somebody said that if you want to keep something away from Nigerians,
I did in a book.
That's right.
All right, Mr. Salami. I was just sad that we have to end the show on a very sad note. Yesterday, the story of the loss of one of our colleagues in the media industry came to us as a very, very deep shock. And this is how the Vanguard newspaper puts the story. FCT NUJ calls for forensic investigation into death of Arise TV anchor Somachukwu. And the Nigerian Union of Journalists, FCT chapter, has called for a thorough forensic investigation into the death of Arise television news anchor Tochukwu Crystal Madugu, who was reportedly killed during an armed robbery incident in her residence in Katambe area of Abuja. Mr. Salame, this is just sad. Very, very sad. In a statement by the NUJ FCT Secretary, Comrade Jide Oyekunle, the council urged the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies to investigate the circumstances surrounding her death and ensure that those responsible are swiftly apprehended and brought to justice.
I think that all reasonable Nigerians should realize that it is not the family of this our colleague that should feel the grief.
The family alone.
It is a collective one. It's unfortunate, really unfortunate that we lost a budding, vibrant, young lawyer who chose to be a pen pusher. It's unfortunate too that it happened at a place we thought is a highbrow area in Abuja, Katampi. It only means that the security agencies still have a lot to do. It's unfortunate it happened, but there is no society that is crime-free. What is important is detection and apprehension. I hope and pray that they will be brought to book on time, and may the soul of our sister find peace with his creator, with our creator.
Yes, I joined Mr. Salame in saying that may God also console the family of Sam Tochukwu and also our colleagues in Arise Television, give them the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. It's sad, and her case is prominent today because she's a journalist. Imagine some Nigerians across the country who fall victim to these marauders who are reckless and very violent. It's sad. I'm sure that with the publicity generated by this, that the Nigerian police will fish out the perpetrators. We really hope that happens. It will not bring her back, but at least justice would have been served.
Well, I just pray that the Nigerian police, which I believe can do it, will surely do it.
Amen. All right. On that note, Mr. Salame, that's our package for today on Super Citizen at Sunrise Papers Review. And tomorrow, 7 a.m., don't forget to join us for another edition. My name is Lawrence Umati. Thank you so much, Mr. Salame, for your interventions.
It's a pleasure being here with you. Thank you very much, Lawrence.